Did you miss me? I thought you might. Well, I thought I'd make another video because it's been a couple of months and there's been a lot of stuff going on. So I took the appointment when last we spoke. I took the appointment to see the surgeon that the physical therapist had recommended, and it went surprisingly well. Like I was really impressed. Like I was prepared to have to go get like a second or third opinion or whatever, but she seemed really attuned, and she was really good at listening to what I was saying, and she was really inquisitive about signs and symptoms and what I had for expectations and what she had for abilities, and back and forth like that. And so it actually went really well. So I decided to go ahead and make that appointment. And then while I was there, she mentioned, because this is at a major university hospital, she mentioned that they had a research study that she thought that I might be interested in to participate, where it's women my age, I don't know if that's good or bad, who have my advanced endometriosis. And basically it's just a research study on that. And she said that they were really interested in having me participate. And I thought, I don't need any of it. Like, I don't need any of the tissue or the organs or anything like that. And if all it is just asking questions and taking like simple tests and stuff, then I would be fine with that. So we decided to go ahead and schedule surgery. My cat sneezed. And we had, I said I would take the next available date, which was like 6 weeks later. So on that day, she said, since we're already here at the hospitals, you want to just do some of the pre-op testing. And I thought, well, sure. So they did what's it called? A biopsy of the uterus, kind of like a pap smear, but like a lot more intense. And I was thinking like, I have a really high pain tolerance. I'm totally fine with that. And I don't have any problem with like testing and stuff. It's, it is what it is. You do what you got to do. So I told her, yeah, we'll go ahead and do that. And she was like, well, it can be a little intense. And I was like, yeah, that's fine. We'll be all right. And she was like, well, just if we do it now, we don't have to do it before, make another appointment and blah, blah, blah. I was like, no, it's totally fine. Just go ahead and do it now. She was like, okay. Like she was trying to talk me out of it. So I said, okay. So we go to do the biopsy, and it's basically like, the usual like legs up in the stirrup kind of deal. And she's going to go in, and everybody that's ever tried to find my uterus, weird sentence, has always had a little difficulty. I'm like, no, it's really high up, really far to the left and tilted backwards. And she was like, oh, it sure is. And she's like, she's like pressing on my stomach, trying to push it down to meet her hand, and she can't. I'm like, well, this is already uncomfortable. Thank you. So she goes to do the biopsy, and I'm totally fine, just, sitting there looking at the ceiling. And then, are you familiar with vasovagal reaction? I don't know what it is, but recently, within like the last few years, I've been more and more prone to them more and more often, and they seem to be getting worse, and I can't exactly pinpoint the trigger for it. So basically what happens to me, and I have zero control over it because it's coming from your vasovagal nerve, which is just like a nerve response. Like as I'm laying there, all of a sudden I just feel like whoosh, like my blood just like leave my head, and then I'm covered in sweat, just absolutely covered in sweat, like head to toe. And my mouth goes completely dry and ringing in my ears, and I can feel myself like, whoa, like on the verge of passing out. And I was like, okay guys, I think we're good. We can probably stop now. She's like, okay, I think we got it. So, and then she looks up at me and she's like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna go get a nurse. Which, side note, on its own is funny because you're the doctor and you're like, oh, I'm gonna go get a nurse. But anyway, so yeah, that was, I did not pass out, so it wasn't actually like a syncopal episode, but yeah, it was pretty close. That was fun stuff. That's like probably like the sixth time that it's happened to me. It happened like when I filleted my thumb with like an X-Acto blade, and it was literally like a flap of skin, and I go, oh. But yeah, usually like medical stuff like that doesn't bother me. But apparently when it's me, it's the issue. When it's like to myself. I don't know. Anyway, so that was fun. That was something for me to become more aware of. And it's just really daunting because I don't know when it's going to happen. It's not related to endometriosis at all. It's just something that I am acquiring apparently with the advanced aging of myself. So anyway, got that biopsy done, came back negative. Yay, party time. So then I talked to them more about the research study. So if anybody has a chance to join a research study, I kind of recommend it, determining, based on what it is that's involved. But for this particular research study, I did it's like 6 different kind of, we'll call them like indexes, chapters or whatever to it. So like the first part was they send me an email every day at 3:00 for 14 days prior to my surgery. And it was just like a 5-question email. You just click on the link every day and it just says, worst pelvic pain today, average pelvic pain today, worst body pain today, average body pain today, have you taken any pain medication today? So I did that for 14 days. And then there was the baseline study, which was really interesting to me. That was kind of cool. So I went back up to the university and met with some people for this appointment, and it was like they had set up a series of tests, like physical tests during the day. So one of them was like this like clamp that you put your thumb in, like it looks like a clamp, like on a workshop, and they press down on it on their computer, and it pushes down on your nail bed of your thumb at different levels of pressure to induce pain, essentially. And you indicate, the level of pain from 1 to 10. And my thought the whole time was like, they're doing it. I'm like, nope, that doesn't hurt. Nope, that doesn't hurt. Nope, that doesn't hurt. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to leave the study and they're going to think I'm a sociopath. I'm just coming across as like absolutely crazy because none of this actually hurts. Is this supposed to hurt? Am I doing this wrong? No. They're just going to think I'm a sociopath. But hey, whatever. So then another part of the testing was like basically a giant blood pressure cuff on your leg, and they would inflate it. Does that hurt? Inflate it. Does that hurt? Inflate it. Does that hurt? And do it at like different levels. And then they'd inflate it and hold it. How about now? Inflate it and hold it. How about now? So that was okay. That wasn't too bad. I was thinking again that it was going to be like, oh, you're nuts. But whatever. It is what it is. And then another one was like a little hammer, pressure points on like your back of your shoulders, the wrists, and the back of the hip, like parallel to or perpendicular to your spine with the hip. If that makes sense. Those weren't really much of anything. And then another one was like a visual test where they'd put up like the most obnoxious swirling patterns on a screen and like pulsated and put it at like different levels of brightness, and they were basically like, how obnoxious is this to you, and like, how painful was this to watch? And then it was similar with like a hearing test where you put the little headphones on and they're like, okay, this pitch, can you hear it? Yes. Can you hear it? Yes. Can you hear it? Yes. Is it really annoying or is it okay? Is it really annoying or is it okay? That kind of thing. I think the worst part was the brain MRI. I've had an MRI before. It wasn't terrible. But this, I don't know if it was because I had been like looking at all those swirling patterns for a good hour before they went to the MRI. But like, okay, so you go to the MRI machine, it's like that big magnetic dome thing. You got to make sure you don't have any metal on, blah, blah, blah. Don't have any, shrapnel in you, no bullets, anything like that. So you put in earplugs, and then they put headphones over top, and And then they like pack your head in, and then they roll you into the little MRI machine, which is fine for me. I'm not claustrophobic, nothing like that, so it was okay. That stupid thing is so loud, especially when it's right on your head. And it took 2 hours. 2 hours of this bang, 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 bang. Oh my gosh. When I got out of there, I was like, oh, that is terrible. I was nauseated. My head was killing me. It was ridiculous. And then on top of that, my surgery the next day. Yay. Good stuff. Good stuff. Really not looking forward to that part. So for the rest of the study, I have to do a pain, the same kind of email thing for 14 days after my surgery, like your level of pain at your surgical site, your level of pain overall, and then did you take any pills today? And then also I have to keep a written log of my pain medication, what I take, how often, and what time for another 14 days. And then I think there's follow-up at like 3 months, 6 months, and 1 year after surgery. So we'll see how that goes. So, you know, it'll be fun. Let's see. So then last week I had surgery. I ended up they took my entire uterus, both tubes, and my right ovary. They had done a pre-surgical MRI, but they found like a bunch of, apparently some stuff that they weren't planning on seeing, that the MRI had not indicated. There were like some very large, gross like cysts and stuff. And if I can figure out how to do it, maybe I'll put a picture up here for you. And then there was another one where a part of my intestine had been entwined with my right ovary, and that was why they had to take that one. And then just like a general like havoc landscape of the inside of my body, of what it looked like with all the scarring and scar tissue and whatnot. So they did take out a bunch of scar tissue as well, as much of the endometriosis as they could see. I did get to keep one ovary, which is really all I was hoping for anyway. I just didn't want to do like hormone replacement and trying to figure all that out. Best part though, dude, my skin. It's only been a week and my skin is like not freaking out. Like I'm freaking out because my skin's not freaking out. It's the craziest thing. I'm so excited. I don't think I've ever had clear skin like this as an adult without Accutane. Yay. So I'm really happy about that. My surgical site is basically like a horizontal line across my belly button and then 2 on each side of my belly button. So it's like a dotted line. I look like a crossing lane on the road, like a turn lane. So it's really cute. It's healing well. They're just the little stero strips, and then I have sutures inside that will dissolve. So no big deal. But yeah, basically that's about it. I'm looking forward to seeing how this research study goes, or what I can contribute. They took all of the tissue samples, and then they took like all of the everything that they had removed and sent samples of that off to some different research facilities and hospitals that were also part of the same study. So they're going to be using that. And then, of course, I won't know anything because I'm only identified as like a number, but I thought it sounded pretty cool. So I was pretty excited to be able to contribute to that part, at least. You know, at least something can come of it, because there's just, as you know, no information. There's no information for anybody about it at all. So here's hoping. But in the meantime, I just have been sleeping a lot. I'm off work for a couple of weeks. And that's about it. Oh, but also, okay, so my surgery was on a Thursday, and my sister went with me, and my husband, who does not like anything medical, like he does not do any sort of grown man can't swallow pills kind of thing. He stayed. You could only have one person in with you because of all of this COVID business, and so he drove me and my sister down there, and then he just waited around downtown, hanging out, doing whatever, watching movies on his iPad, driving around for 9 hours. bless his soul. And my sister was inside with me, and she was the one that was like, you know, taking updates and whatever, telling him, keeping my family on track and stuff. That was on a Thursday. And then on Monday, the hospital switched because the level from our governor, like, it escalated. So on Monday, you could have nobody with you. So just a couple days later, I would have been all by myself, and that would have been really, really, really hard. So I'm glad that was not the case, because it was hard enough as is. But yeah, luckily I have not had any sort of complications. I was vomiting a little bit, and I was nauseated for quite a few days, but other than that, I'm good. I don't really have any pain. I'm up and moving around and usual. Also resting. Rest is good. Rest is good. I should probably go do that. Take care.